Assalamu alaikum. I'm Muhtad Mumin, and my ID is 191354006. Uh, Today, I'm going to talk about my course presentation, and the topic is code vulnerability and compromised software quality, and it's a major security threat. So, that's the topic of my presentation today. And I'm going to talk about the topics, the core topics of this presentation. In this presentation, those are the introduction. That means what is code vulnerability, and what are the risks, and the previous incidents that happened because of code vulnerability or low quality, the impacts that occurs because of code vulnerability, and reasons of code vulnerability, why this thing happens. One of the major facts of this event to happen is code quality. So I will shortly talk about code quality. Buffer overflow is a result of code vulnerability. It can happen due to code vulnerability, and I will talk about some of the core pillars of information security. Without those those things, information security is really narrow. How to secure a code? To it talks it In this sector. I will talk about that how can we mitigate the code vulnerability thing in our code, or how can we reduce the risks of a code, and emerging trends in software security, that the new things that are coming and we can use in this problem. The conclusion of the presentation and the references I used to make this presentation. Now, we all know code vulnerabilities is vulnerability is mean the risk of getting attacked or breakings or getting broken. So it's like the code vulnerability actually means the flaws of the software that makes threat, that can be threatened by any attacker or any viruses or anyone who want to harm that software. So the if I read some of these, recognizing the underlying reasons is essential for creating security solutions that work. This presenting examines the relationship between code vulnerability and compromised software quality. So one of the major things highlighting in here is the code quality is has a major relationship with code vulnerability, because of code. If the code quality is low, the code is more vulnerable and it can be attacked easily. Some of the problems that occurs because of code vulnerability are here in our presentation. Those are buffer overflows, injection attacks, insecure independence defenses, etc, etc. So I will move forward the previous incidents. These are some of the major incidents that happened in before. Yahoo got hacked in late 2014. I have researched some of those incidents, and I have gathered this information that Yahoo was attacked, and almost 500 million accounts were information were leaked of 500 accounts, and they almost it almost costed them almost $35 million US dollars. So it was a huge one. Sony incident with PlayStation. Sony's server was hacked, and the PlayStation network was down for almost 23 days. That was a big impact in their business. Facebook data breach, it was in 2019. Twitter breach in 2022. Twitter already was breached previously before, but well, it was about some accounts like like Burger King account was hacked with McDonald's logo. So someone hacked Burger King's account and put up McDonald's logo, and they said that McDonald's had bought Burger King. So these were some of the attacks. Mafia Boy and ESPN got attacked by Unicorn in 2009. So these all attacks, the all of the attacks, the major reason was code vulnerability. The code quality was really low in these sort of things, and we will talk about some of those later here. Now, impacts of compromised software quality. There are a lot of impacts. If my product is not good, the customer will never trust in my product. So that comes the first impact, like undermines the reliability and trustworthiness of the applications. Now, if my product is vulnerable, my clients wouldn't trust my site or my work. So it's a major concern of business. The other ones is the causes data breaches. Code quality, software compromised software quality, or software vulnerability causes the data breaches. We have already seen that some incidents, some hacking incidents that had happened before. In those, maximum of those was about data breaching. They breached the data, they stole the data, and they threaten them or something like that for money, or etc, etc. Oh, like, okay, like now leads to system failure. The system fails, like the Sony was out of network for 23 days. That was an example of system failure. Legal and financial consequences. Yahoo lost almost 35 million US dollar in 2013-14. So it was a huge amount back then, and users find themselves in insecure position when the customer realizes that this program is not safe. They feel insecure about their personal information, and etc, etc. So these are the big impacts that are getting on that are being accused, that are being occurred because of a compromised software quality. Now, why code vulnerability happens? Code vulnerability happens for many reasons, but most vital one is code quality. Because of the code, if the code quality is low, then the code vulnerability can happen. Poorly managed memory management has to be accurate when it comes to a program, and to avoid code vulnerability. Smelly codes. Some codes smells because of the quality. If we don't, if the code is not readable enough, if the code has some tiny mistakes, like a parenthesis was open but it wasn't closed, that can cause a big problem, that can cause a big breach in the data. So it sounds like tiny, but it can be a major issue. Insecure data handling, it's also a major problem, because of these things, the code vulnerability happens in our program. Now, I will just shortly talk about code quality. The ability of code to communicate between developers is measured by code quality metrics. Now, it actually occurs like when I'm writing a program, when I'm doing a code, the more it will be readable, the code quality is more high in here. When I am doing a code, like if I'm when I'm doing a code, I have to write that code in this way that after 5 or 6 years, when me or anyone else reads that code, can understand what is happening in here. So there should be perfectly organized, and also there should be comments, at least 20% comments on those codes, that those refers that the code is highly qualified. And it's here clear. There are also other some references like clear, straightforward, well tested, error free, refractor, documented and performed code are all signs of high quality. So these are also some features that a code has, the code must have to be in high quality. Now, I'll talk about a little bit about buffer overflow. Buffer overflow happens because of code vulnerability. Buffer overflow means overflowing some if overflowing something. Like here, if I talk about an array, here I can if I say this is an array of 0 to 7, but I haven't if the programmer hadn't closed hadn't limited the buffer to 8 bytes, then any hacker or who want to harm the program will seek for a chance, will search for a chance to overflow this array. He can put over like last two digits like 0 or 1 and 2 in the 8 and 9 position, and that can make the overflow. So we have to be precise about the size of our arrays or size of our memories. That has to be accurate. So if we are talking about 100, it has to be limited to 100. We cannot rely on the, we cannot be assured that our users will know that they have no there is a limitation of 100. They don't know that. So we have to limitate it in our programming. So it's also a major concern. It also a major problem that happens because of code vulnerability and low quality code. Now, core pillars of information security. There are 3 pillars. They are said to be the core pillars of information system security. There are confidentiality, that means only allow access to data for which the user is permitted. That means the permission should be restricted. No one who doesn't have any authorization cannot get into the data. Integrity, ensure data is not tampered or altered by unauthorized users. So only the authorized person can alter or can change or add or delete any data. And availability, ensure system and data are available to authorized users when they need it. So it means that the authorized users the authorized users must get the access to the data what they are authorized to whenever they need it. So it has to be open to the authorized users. We are going to the next slide. It's reducing security risk. That means how can we secure the code. That what it means. In here we can see that the code analysis has to be performed accurately. Now this is the, I think this is the most important thing to do to secure a code. The code analysis, there has to be more and more analysis to make the code perfect. This analysis can be used by some tools. Those can help us to make our code safe and see what if there is any risk or not. Now code has to be accurate. That's obviously the code has to be accurate. Nested loops has to be avoided. Now in our programming in programming programs, the nested loops are like there can be one nested loop or two, but there cannot be one inside another one nested into a nested loop into a nested into these actions can make a code really vulnerable. So we should avoid these nested loops, and at least 20% comments has to be put in the code. That I already mentioned previously, that if I am doing a code now after 5 years, someone I may not be there to develop it. So when someone comes in my place, he or she should understand the code by reading those comments, that what is going on the code. So it's just has to be there be at least 20% comments, so the code can be easily be read. Now, implementing automated testing tools, we know that there are available automated testing tools now in the internet, or in the marketplace. Those can be used to know that if there are any bugs or anything in our code. Monitoring for security vulnerabilities continuously. We have to monitor for security breach or anything else, to continuously. We cannot do it like for once a month. We have to do it like daily, or at least like twice a day, or something like that. Okay, now emerging trends. There are some, as the time advances, new things are coming in the technology, and we should adapt those to secure our system, to secure our codes, to secure our programs. Like AI, artificial intelligence is a really trendy thing now. So we can use artificial intelligence in our security. So it will improve the security. And also blockchain based in security is like a new thing, and it's really effective in the security part, so we can use that also. So that's how we can prevent, or we can avoid, or we can prevent, or we can cure the security issues in our programs. And the conclusion of this presentation is that when we are having a lock, when we are having something valuable in our position, we should know how to safely keep it, or how to safeguard it. Now, when it was about when the time was 50 years back, it was just a lock, just a lock with a key. But nowadays we can see that there are fingerprints, biometric systems, there are some advanced safes to use to log, to save those valuable things, of our position. So same thing in our codes, we have to use in our codes, or in our programs, in our systems, to make them more safe, using the advanced technologies those are comings in present. And we have to adapt them. So that's how we can easily avoid code vulnerability. We can reduce those risks, and make our programs and systems safe for use. So these are the reference links that I have used to gather these informations, and there are many more. So thank you for listening me.